Oh, hi. I'd like to introduce you to a new business proposal. My name is the Mad Mathematician, and I'm the CEO of this company, New World Order. And what I have proposed for you today is a new marketplace called Time Trader. So, to give you an idea, this company that I'm forming right here is a new way in which we can provide third-party services for evaluations and analysis on any kind of item that people can trade. And this third-party analysis will not only speed up transactions and make transactions more accurate in their evaluation, which will not only reduce the time in which people are trying to price compare and try and do reviews in comparison, but this will also provide a new platform in which to save money all around by cutting out the IRS, federal and income and so forth state taxes. Anyways, let's move on. Do you understand that there is a serious problem with money? And the second that there is money involved, not only is it limited by the country that uses it, but it's more in terms limited in the fact that it can be accounted for, and that there are many situations where money can become a liability. For example, there has been a new law where if you have too much money on you, it can be considered a suspicion of a crime, to where police have literally, there's been documentation of this, where they're holding up people's money that they find in excess. Sometimes it's like $10,000, and they're keeping it as evidence, even though there's no evidence of anything. A lot of these, there was a poker player that lost $14,000 of their bankroll just because they had it in cash on them, and it was suspicion. It was suspicious activity. So money is becoming not only accountable, but it's becoming actually a serious liability issue in terms of just having it on you. And obviously placing it anywhere is also a liability. I mean, hardly anything is safe these days. Banks have closed down. Money is not really a secure investment anymore. Okay, so like I said earlier, our solution saves time. You earn more money and more value, okay? And it also expands your network, okay? This is very, very, very crucial in terms of business growth. When we're looking at a specific situation, let's say, let's take, for example, somebody who wants to trade their services for another service, okay? Now, they could easily trade. Let's say they need something that costs, $3,000 worth of services. They could easily do, let's say, one job that could pay that off, right? Let's say one job costs, $3,000 worth of services that they roughly do, one job's worth, right? And that would pay that off. But the problem is the IRS wants, literally an income tax, which is, sometimes 50% at the higher end, 35 somewhere in that, ballpark. The important thing is that you're losing quite a lot of money there. So it's not that you can get a fair equity trade. You have to do, $6,000 worth of services or $5,000 worth of services to get $3,000 worth of services. But if you can trade, and get around this. And then not only that, but have a situation where the IRS really doesn't know the value of that trade. They don't know that you did $3,000 worth of trade. You could say you did $300 worth of trade, and you could pay $150 in taxes if that's really what you wanted to do. I mean, a lot of people aren't even paying that in barter. So the important thing is there's serious savings in barter, and we provide the simplest problem. The problem with barter these days is being able to find a fair evaluation for what you're getting, and then on top of that, also finding somebody who wants what you want and want what you have to offer. And we provide that. So I want that to sink in, what we are providing. We're providing a way in which you can get a fair evaluation on anything, okay? And on top of that, you can also guarantee that is actually the real value of what you're trading in. Okay, so that your valuation and so forth is actually pretty accurate. So that's very important. It's a time saver right there, right? But then, it's the network. You're creating a new network opportunity to expand. And that's also very important, right? But then you have the tax savings on top of that. It's incredibly important to realize that you are definitely getting a huge tax savings advantage by trading. Okay? It's very, very important to understand this. Let's move on. All right. Now, let's look at what we're doing right now. We are starting in the service sector, and specifically the e-service sector, which is growing right now. But right off the bat, the U.S. Actually has a very positive GDP in terms of the services that are provided. It's really where our deficit becomes very much from the goods that we're dependent upon. In the service sector, we're very much a net positive. We don't import as much as we export out, which is great. So let's focus on the service sector. So that's why we're more geared towards the e-services side, specifically e-services. That way, they can be very much readily accessible through the internet. Anything that can be fully done. So what is an e-service? What do I mean by that? I'm talking about a service that can be provided through the internet. It doesn't necessarily mean that it requires the internet to do the service. It means that the final product of getting it to the other person only requires the internet. So like for example, you could be a writer, and you write, and it requires a keyboard and so forth, and you save the document, and you send it over, and that only requires the internet to send that over. Theoretically, you could also be a musician, and that would also only require you to have an instrument and record yourself and then send that file over. There are many different e-services that people generally don't consider an e-service, but it's anything that can be conducted that the medium is sent over through the internet. Okay, so that's what we're primarily focused on. Let's move on. Sorry, skip too far. Now, it's very important to understand that the B2B market size in this is actually very large and is growing very much. Like I said, the e-service sector is very huge right now, and it's predicted that it's going to surpass 50% within the next 20 to 30 years. So I consider this to be a very advantage play when focusing on the e-service sector, because not only does it not require any geological location or shipping or anything like that, but it also removes appraisal and a lot of other issues involved in a startup. So This is, to me, I think the correct approach that we're taking, and the math supports it. Okay, so like I was saying earlier, what we're offering today for our product, right? So here is the tree in which people can go through their transactional process in order to get their evaluation for their goods and services and be able to actually complete a transaction and make profit on that transaction. And like I said earlier, it is very much in your best interest to be trading. There are many videos on this. I don't think that it is needed to produce another video that shows about the advantages through barter. The advantages are incredibly huge. You do realize that money was created out of not out of so much of a necessity, but it was more out of a convenience, because it was kind of difficult to figure out the valuation of stuff. And it was just a pain in the butt. So it's a convenience tool. But in that convenience, there's a loss of efficiency. And barter gives you true efficiency, true value. It gives you extra worth. Every time that you are trading through barter, you are earning more value and you're creating more wealth for yourself as opposed to any other method. Okay, so this is the marketplace homepage that we would have our viewers and our vendors looking at. So what you're looking at here is a very rudimentary, basic page. We want to take the approach of Craigslist. We want everything to be on one homepage. That's why it's very, very easy to navigate. And we choose this because most of your experts are actually very elderly and have a adverse reaction to wanting to learn new software, new online web pages, and new layouts. And to keep this very simple, okay, everything comes from the homepage. There's no screen-to-screen activity. So everything is just from this screen onward. So I would click on one of these and there would only be one screen to view. There would not be a screen within a screen. So there's not like, to go into and change this, you need to go into this tab, and then you need to click on this tab, and then you need to click on this page, and then go to this page. There's none of that. This is the basic final page. There's everything else is just one page extra, and that's it. There's no other page. So if I want to click on, let's say I go to the history section, right? And there's only 4 tabs here. It's very simple. There's only four categories. So I go to the history section. I'm going to go into, let's say, the used or whatever, right? And I click on that. I click on that button. There's only one screen. There's not another screen past it and another screen beyond that you have to know. There's only one screen. So it's very rudimentary. Okay? This is what we're looking for. Now that you understand, this is our business model. We're offering 10%. We are looking for several different positions. We'd like a C.T.O, somebody who is a full stack developer. That's what we're looking for. We'd also like a C.I.O and a C.F.O. We're shopping around for several different positions that we're looking for the best qualified candidates. Please support your resume with a list of what you think would be a project plan for a 3-6 month business proposal that you think would fit within our proposal. Something that matches. Something that you think that you could get done. And we're looking for 5 to 10 hours a week. That's it. That's all we're asking is 5 to 10 hours a week. But we think that that's enough to be able to get this project basically to where it's functional, and then from there we'll be earning definitely a lot of income. I haven't talked about the income revenue yet. I will get into discussing that, but generally we will be collecting credits on a 1% transaction fee. And that pretty much sums it up. Anyways, thank you so much for your time, and please reach out. Again, I left my email, and please contact me, and I will definitely answer any of your questions. Have a great day.